Hello. How's it going today? We are live right now. Yeah, cool. So today, what am I doing here? I'm all over the place when I first started these streams. Am I actually live right now? I am actually live right now. That's great. Cool. So today is going to be part 3 of our never-ending saga of the pole block. Yes, so let's get started. So the first thing, there's a couple things that I wanted to do. The idea here is I'm going to be I want to work on, I've lost my train of thought. I have too many things going on and not enough, I'm not paying attention. Hey, Florida Dakota man, welcome aboard. Always glad to have you, my friend. Cool, so yeah, pole block part 3, the final chapter. That was my movie trailer voice. Yeah, so okay, all right. So I did a couple things as homework here. So, and I have fixed some CSS, good stuff. Actually, before I get showing this, I'll go through what I use. I'm using local, and I'm just using it because it's nice and easy. And yeah, so the last time we had, so I have this block, which I'm just using the same block as I did before. So I've done some CSS cleanup here, which I'm gonna get out of the full screen so I can view the post. All right, so I've done some CSS cleanup here to make it look a little nice. I'll go through that in a second. So there's some cool things. Put this back in full screen because it looks nice. I'm gonna learn my key commands. Cool. So this block is the same block that we were working on last week. We got to the point where we were talking about block context and working on that kind of stuff. Yeah, in a world. Sorry, I just saw your comment now. I had a thing up in front of there. Yeah. So let me kind of go through it a bit. So in our blocks, I'm going to zoom this in. I'm going to just switch maybe to my to the left side here so you can see what I got going on. So we've got 2 blocks. So this was built with that template that I have set up where a multi-block configuration for create block, the package. So we've got our custom webpack file here that just builds out all these things. The other thing is Mike's in my way. So if we look at the pole block, we've got in here, I've got some style CSS, right? And then pull item, is it actually? And then, okay. So the styles basically are just handling. So what I did, my intent here, did I not do this right? Oh my gosh. Let's see, so styles, no, there's styles. Okay, cool. So let me get this building first. The other thing I use is iTerm, playground. I have this really cool extension called Auto Jump. It's for my ZSH. It's a plugin, and it allows you to CD to a place, and it remembers, and then you can say J, and it'll jump you there, which is pretty awesome. So app public WP content plugins. This is November 24. There we go. So I'm gonna do npm run start. So this should get my thing building. So we'll just set it in the background and take a look and see what this is actually doing. So in here, so we've got this stuff going on. We've got this stuff going on. That's awesome. Yeah, so they look pretty much the same on the front as on the back end. My intent here was to kind of show how I have styles being set up here. So that imports this, which creates basically all of that, and then I have some overrides that are happening in the. Let me just look at the build. Is it actually in there? Right, okay, so my intent here, sorry, I'm rambling, folks. My intent here is the styles are the styles that get queued on the front end and in the editor. And then any overrides that we need go into the editor style. Time for more coffee. Yes, definitely more coffee. Whoa, what the heck happened there? me just fix that. That was weird. Okay. Sorry, my clearly my chat bar was all messed up there. Cool. So we have our styles. The styles get loaded if you look in the block.json file. I'm gonna switch over to my other camera here again. If you look at the block.json, we've got style and we've got editor style. So this basically anything with editor. So there's editor style, editor script, and style and script. And anything with editor only gets enqueued in the editor, the block editor, and anything with style gets enqueued both in the block editor and on the front end. So that's why if we make a change to style and we say we're gonna go border, I'll say solid 5 pixels and I'll make it red, right? And if I build that, I should be able to come in here and on the front end, so we've got this box, right? And on the back end, it's got it too. So that shows that it gets enqueued in both places. So if I get rid of that, and then in the editor CSS, let's say I have, so here's the button. So if I just want to make this happen in the editor, solid 5 pixels, and I'll make this one blue so we can make sure this works now. Let's see. I'm wondering now if this isn't being in. It is. So there we go. So see, it's building and it's loading that stuff. And right. Okay. So I had confused myself there slightly because in my index I'm importing style.scss here, so a Sass file. But in my edit state, I'm importing the editor. Now, I don't think it matters. In fact, I'll test that. My instinct was to include both things here. The reason being because the scripts package behind the scenes, what it does is it's actually smart enough to figure it out. It's still gonna build so what we have is the poll style. We have, where is it? Poll CSS. No, sorry, poll item. Where's the poll item? Poll item CSS. And then we have style poll items CSS. And then what those map to is basically the style is the front is the thing added to the style front end, and then this stuff gets added to the that's really confusing. I'm not saying this right. So the stuff that gets enqueued to the front end gets prefixed with style dash whatever, and then the stuff that gets enqueued into the block editor is just whatever the entry point is, CSS. So it'll be entry point.css. So if we look in here, we have poll item, so that's our entry point, right? So we have entry point.css and then style dash entry point.css, and this is meant to be the stuff that gets enqueued on the front end. So I think this will still work, and it looks like it's still working. Let's just double check that by changing this to I don't know, yellow, because everyone likes a yellow border, right? So that still gets changed. So it doesn't matter where it gets added. I think it's probably better added at the index, because I don't know, maybe not, because I mean we don't have a save because the script kind of handles it for us behind the scenes. Do we really care where it gets added? I think it makes more sense from if I was working on a development team, maybe having everything enqueued in the same place is better than things enqueued in random spots. I mean, editor does get associated with edit.js, so there's an argument in there too. But anyways, so long story short, that works. So what I've been doing is I've been going in and I have been sort of adding overrides that I need, but only in the editor. So actually I didn't need any overrides for the poll block itself. So let me go back. Let me get rid of that poll item in the editor. I'm gonna get rid of this border. We don't need it. So that's kind of the approach. So that's how we can get things looking fairly straightforward, right? Cool. So just a recap of what the actual block is. So the block is built with an outer block called poll block 2, which is apparently called poll block 2. Let me just change that. All right. Right. So we've got this block called poll block, and then it is basically consists of a title. Want to become famous by followers. Oh, thanks, Kenzie HW. I'm gonna be blocking you. Wonderful. All right, cool. So we've got basically a title field here that we define with the ability to add a strike through, italics, bold, strike through. We can do all that sort of stuff with it. Let me get rid of the strike through. And then below that, there's an inner blocks instance. That inner blocks instance then takes the ability, these poll items, which is a block in itself that consists of basically just a rich text field. Birgit, hi, welcome aboard. So that's kind of where we ended up. So if you want to add more, you can add individual items. So this, let's look at the code a bit here. The poll block itself, like I said, it's got a rich text field. Let's just maybe collapse that for now. Destiny WP, hey, how's it going, Destiny? So we've got rich text field, which handles our title, and then below that we've got our inner blocks. So I've done a couple of things in here. The allowed blocks, I've only allowed a single block, that block being the other one, the poll item. And then I've created a template. So when you insert this for the first time, it gives you one automatically, and it even gives you some predefined parameters. Which this might not be so helpful because the option name is always going to be different. It's never going to be a thing. So maybe we should probably do that with a placeholder perhaps. But then the poll item itself, it has a parent. The parent being the poll block, so it can only appear inside of a poll block. So the other thing that we were talking about was block context. This is a super fun thing. Block context basically means one block can tell the block a child block, something, anything. So what we're doing is in our poll block, we've got a control that we've added here, right here, that manages our color palette. So that's this thing over here. So if we change this color palette, you can see that the colors for the poll blocks get changed. And I think, does it still get refreshed? Yeah, and it gets refreshed on the front end. Just ignore this. We're gonna fix this up later. But so I don't need this. I'm gonna get rid of that one, right? So that's great. And so that's done via context. So in our poll block, we say that we've got this attribute called color right here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna say that this block provides context to one of its child blocks, any of its child blocks, anything that could go inside that. Oh, my camera got all blurry there. Come on. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Do this every time. There we go. Now you can actually see me. Right, so it's gonna provide a context. This is a custom name for our context. We just gave it, it's best practice to give it some kind of namespace. So that's what we did. I kind of hate this name, so I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change it to Twitch block. How about that? Twitch block poll color, right? So now that's gonna have some things in here. So I have to now update. So what this does is this exposes the color attribute and its value in context to any child block. So if we go and look now at the poll item, we can see that this uses the context of whatever the heck I just called it, Twitch poll, right? So we can put that in there, okay? And then now context is available as a prop in the object that's passed to the edit component. So I'm just going to update this thing here. And the last thing I think we have to do is, where do we have to do this? We have to do this in here. So the context. So this is a dynamic block as well. I'm going to get into this. I made a bunch of changes here. It's a bit ugly. We'll clean it up, make it look a little nicer. So this should just all work again because I updated that. So if we do this, should be able to do that. And then here, did I not save it? Oh, I left it the same. Let's see, update that, switch it, it's now white. Cool, so that's block context, which is super powerful. Now, bear in mind, I have to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure only child blocks handle it. So if you're familiar with the way that the context API works in React, basically you define a context and then you assign that context, and then any child component that of the context has access to it. And I believe it's basically the same way here. But I'm going to be doing a bit of a deeper dive into that in a blog post or something, hopefully soon. Cool. So that's kind of where we're at with this block. So the things that we don't have this block doing is we don't have any vote functionality, and we don't have it tied into the back end. Now I'm not going to tie it into the back end because there's a ton of different ways to do that, and that's kind of beyond the scope of this. You could create a custom endpoint that you would then hit and then save it as an attribute, sorry, as a custom post, as a custom field on this post. You could hit an external API. There's lots of different ways to do this. So I'm going to just fake it, basically. Hey, Amen Vicious, if I'm saying that right, welcome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of fake the numbers, right? So so I've done that. I'm going to just close all this stuff down. So in my block callback function, there's a few things that I'm doing. So in here, I've got, so this is getting the name, this is getting the color. I don't need that. So this is my render callback function for the block. What I'm doing is I'm outputting the border here, right? I'm just putting a whole border around it in whatever color was picked. This is my button. I'm gonna just maybe break it up like this so we can read it a little better. Something like this. I should do some escaping of attributes here. All right. My IDE keeps yelling at me because I can't find PHPCS. That's fine. And so this is a span that represents the name of the option. Right? I'm just gonna leave it like that. And then this is the bar that is represented on the front end, this little thing here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a couple of things. I'm going to add a data count attribute to my span for the vote, right? And I'm going to give it a random number between 1 and 10. And so this represents however we get that data back from wherever this is stored. It's stored on external API. You probably have to do it a little differently, but this is assuming that we can get it by PHP and plunk it in here. So we've done that. So that's what that's doing. All right. This isn't really doing much of anything. The only thing I did add was a little. This is the poll block, the main poll block that gets rendered. So basically everything around it. So I added a little message thing here that will appear at the bottom. We'll see why in a moment. Yeah. And so the next thing that I want to do is I want to start working on the front end because I'm happy with this. This works, right? I want to start I need to get a JavaScript file so I can manage this voting stuff. And I need to, I want to associate it with this block, and I want to do it in such a way that it only gets queued when this block is being used and things like that. So, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a new endpoint in here. I'm going to call this just front end. Right. And that will live in, I have an assets directory up here. You can put this wherever you want. I'm going to put it in assets because it's a block, but it kind of encompasses both blocks. So it doesn't really make sense to go in here. I'm going to put it in here. So I have this assets folder from the template, the create template that I was using. So I'm not going to use it again. So I'm just going to delete this and refactor this. I'm going to call this a little folder in there called JS. I'm going to go from new file called front end.js. There we go. And so now in here, I need to go into assets, JS, front end.js. So this should create a new endpoint for me. So I'm going to I just stopped my build process. I'm going to do npm start again. This should run my build process. We should see, hopefully, that it's spitting out. Yeah, it looks like it's spitting out a file there. So if we go into our build, well, I'll see that we have a front end.js. Okay, so there's this. Yeah. So I'm gonna do some fun things here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do an if here, an immediately invoked functional expression. I think that's what it's called. And the idea here is that it gets basically called and run as soon as the page loads, right? And I was going to do an alert, and I say loaded, and that'll be that. Okay, so now we have this. So there's this new, I don't know if it's new, but there's another block.json entry called ViewScript that I want to try out. I was messing around with it and it didn't seem to work, but I got some insight from a good friend of mine, someone I know on the inside, Greg, who is phenomenal at this stuff, and I think he wrote it, so he really knows what he's talking about. He gave me some insight. So what I want to do is in my block, poll block, I'm going to add another entry here, and it's going to be called ViewScript, and we need it to come basically to get pulled out of here, right? And it'll be called front-end.js. Okay, so now this isn't just going to work. Now, if this was a static block, if this block I was building was a static block, meaning it didn't have a render callback, it would work, apparently. I haven't tried it yet. I believe him because he's smarter than me. And so what we have to do is we have to now go in to our render callback for this and get it to work. So if you notice, I have this in QScript here. It shouldn't be there because I left it in by accident. But basically, what I want to be able to do is just call. I think what we call is WP poll block view. I think that's what we call. So this gets built from the name, and this is just the prefix of the script. So now, let's see. Oh, okay, didn't work. Okay, so I don't see anything there. Don't see anything there. No, I need to. How do I know what that block is named as? Maybe I've got it named wrong. But it's my understanding the way that this should work is the name of the block, because the classes get. I wonder what the name of the class is, because these handles are generated dynamically. As we've got, oh, I think that might be it. Would that be it? Create. I think this might be it. Sorry, you can't see that, but what I'm looking at, I'll show you in a second. So I think it needs to be WP block namespace name of block dash view. And I'm gonna, if I can get this work, if this doesn't work, I'll do it another way. But I'm definitely gonna do a stream. Maybe not a stream because I don't know if it's enough content, but at the very least a small blog post or video on this. So let's see. So that shouldn't have done anything. This still didn't load. Sources. So what I'm looking for here, I'm looking to see if it's getting loaded, and it doesn't look like it is. So okay, that's unfortunate. I'm just like making up names now. I'll get back to doing it a different way. Yeah, it's not loading. Okay. So anyway, so what we can do then is I'm gonna look into that. But the other way to do it is we can do it like this. We'll just basically add an action in anywhere inside of this, and this action is going to do we're going to do an in-queue scripts like this. And apparently that did not like my copy pasting. Right, we're just gonna we're gonna call on in-queue scripts. Oh man, this is annoying. Sorry, the formatting got all weird. Okay, we're gonna do this. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna in-queue this manually the way that I normally would. We're right? But instead of just running enqueue scripts, I'm just going to run register script. So I'll take us through this real quick. So this is the path to our asset. So in the build directory, we've got a front end asset.php. This will define any dependencies and the dependencies and the version that we use. So then I'm just checking to see if that file exists. If it does exist, I'm going to require it, and then I'm going to run register script, my script handle, my path to my script, which is front end right there, the dependencies and the version and so on and so forth. And then down in here, in the render callback of my poll block, I'm just going to call wp enqueue script and then the name of the script, which I think I called poll front end. So this should, hopefully, if I've done this correctly, this should alert a loaded in here. It did. Cool. So that's how we get that working on the front end. I was hoping to get that with view scripts. I'm going to do a bit more digging. I literally just talked with Greg like a few minutes before the stream, so I wasn't really prepared for it. So I'm going to do a follow-up on this for sure because it's super powerful. The one thing that is missing, well, one of the things that's definitely missing, in my opinion, from like the block.json and just blocks in general, is the ability to only enqueue on the front end, like only the front end. So we can add styles to the front end and the back end, or just the back end, but we can't add styles just to the front end within the context of a block. You can obviously do that within the context of a theme and whatever. Like I just showed you how, but it'd be very cool if there was like a an entry to only add some CSS if that block is being used and only on the front end, and same with JavaScript, which we have. I just don't know if I'm putting it together correctly. Cool. So now that we have that, we got a couple things that we got to figure out here. So we don't think we need this anymore. What are we gonna do? Okay, so let's handle the vote buttons first. So my idea here is that I'm going to close the others. I don't need to deal with that. What I want to do is have the user come in here, and if they voted, we're going to use local storage to determine whether or not they voted. So they come in here, and if they haven't voted, they get presented with buttons. They click the button, the vote occurs, and then they get a message. These go blank, or these get disabled, and then if they come back, they can't vote again. It says, "Hey, you already voted." That's kind of the idea. And I know there's ways around that, but I mean, it's not. We're not doing any elections here, so we should be fine. So to do that, we need to add some event listeners to these buttons. So let's do that. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a const. We're going to get the vote buttons. Buttons equals oh my god, document get was it query selector all, and we just need to tell it what the query selector is, which I can get from in here. No, sorry, from here. And where's the vote button? Oh, conveniently enough, it's called vote button. Okay, so once we have those, we should just be able to loop through them. Right. Yeah, we need to implement blockchain. Yes, Web3. What do they call it? 3.0, Web3. I don't even know what they're calling it anymore. I'm avoiding all that for the moment. Cool. So we should be able to just basically go vote buttons dot for each, and then we have button, right, and then have a little function that gets run in here, and right, we should be say button dot add event listener, click. Am I even doing this right? It's been a long time since I wrote. Hey Fabian, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Now all these heavy JavaScript developers are in my chat, and they're all gonna make me feel my imposter syndrome's going crazy. Okay, so we're gonna do click, and then this should be an event, and then this, and then we're gonna go console.log. This is how I do all my JavaScript. I do this tiniest little bit, and then I console log to make sure it works. Clicked. And I spell it wrong every time. Okay, cool. So let's just see what this does. Hopefully we should get a little console here. Clear this. Where's this button? I clicked. Yay! I clicked. Okay. Now we're good. Okay, so so inside of this, there's a couple things that we want to do. We're going to want to register a vote. Register a vote. Right? Register a vote. Followed by 2, we're going to disable the buttons, and then 3, and this is something that we have to do a bit later, we're going to redraw the vote bars, right? I think that's all we have to do. So let's register a vote. So how was I doing that? Oh, the other thing we have to do, somewhere in here we also have to, like, we do 3 or 4. We have to display the message. Display the thanks for voting message. Okay, so I'm gonna create some helpers up here at console. I'm gonna say this was display message, and then nope, and we're gonna just do this. This is gonna take a message. And we're gonna say const message equals document.query selector, and then I think it's dot message. I'll check that. So we look in our pull block up top. We've got a class called message, right? And then all I'm gonna do is say no, not message. Message element. Oh, come on. This is the way. I don't know why that's funny, but thank you for saying it, Leroy. Rosals? Sorry, I'm saying that wrong, but so then you go message element dot inner text content, because text content equals message, not message element, just message. Cool. So that's the first thing that we can do here. We'll just say display. We'll do this. Display. Thanks for voting. Boom. Right. So make sure that works, and we'll actually make it work. Cool. So let's run a little thing in here. So if I click this, boop. Thanks for voting. Simplest message. No styles. That's how I like to do it as a backend developer. Cool. So the registering of the vote thing. So if you remember, we've got a vote count down here in data count. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just increment that number, because that number is going to be used to draw the existing votes, right? So we can do that pretty straightforward. What are we doing here? So. Oh, you know what? While I'm in here, I'm going to also do a disable buttons. Const disable buttons. I don't know if I'm. I like to use like the arrow function thing as opposed to defining a function. I don't know if anyone has any heavy JavaScripters have any opinions on one versus the other, like doing that versus doing like function like this. I know that there's like scope differences and things like that, but I personally like to use this. I'm going to do button list. I'll pass the button list in here because I've already got them. And then I'm just going to basically do button list dot for each, and this will give me a button. I don't know if you can tell, I'm looking over at my cheat notes over there. So button dot set attribute disabled, and set that to true. All right, so if I disable these buttons now, we should be able to do this, and then just pass the vote buttons because we already have them. They aren't going to be rendered again. Let me put this back here just so we can see. For display a message. Cool. Cool, so this should now disable the buttons. When I jump over here, I should be able to vote, and the buttons are disabled. So I do have some disabling styles in there. Team arrow function here. Nice. I knew you and I were going to be friends. That was reference to you, Florida Coder Man. Clearly, we're kindred spirits. Okay, so we've disabled some buttons. So registering a vote. So how are we going to register a vote? So, I'm gonna write a function to do it. Register vote, right? Because there's a couple things that we want this to do. Equals, it's gonna take the node or the button. I in hindsight I probably did this. I wrote this all up yesterday, and in hindsight I think I might have done it a little bit wonky. But my idea here is I put it inside of the event listener, which wouldn't that makes sense. So what I had to do was I went like this, and you guys are gonna all think, you folks are gonna think I am this is probably an ugly way of doing it. So what I did was basically the button, and then I got the sort of the next sibling and the next sibling down to get the arrow. So this is the vote bar, right? So if we look at our markup, the button is here, and then we go next sibling, and then I get the next sibling of that to get vote bar. There's probably a much cleaner, trixier way of doing that, but that's what this backend developer found. And then I want to get the current count of that from the vote bar, right? So we have, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. So we got this current count. All right, so this should no, it is the E. I want to pass. Sorry, I'm messing that up there. Okay, so we got the current count. Then we want to basically set. So then I'm going to take the vote bar, and I'm going to set the attribute of. Oh my God, what am I doing here? Data count, and I'm going to do it by taking the current count, casting it to a number because JavaScript does this, and a current count +1. You could also do button query selector, but what you have is fine anyway for this. Oh yeah. I guess I could just. But does that? It's not a child though. Would button dot query selector look for a child? Oh, it would. Okay, cool. That's a great suggestion though. See, I always forget about like you can like do this nested stuff and whatever. Parent node for. Oh yeah, totally. Parent node first. So let's try that. Let's go button. Okay, first I'm gonna make sure that this works, and then we'll try that because I think it's looks like it's probably very it's kind of semantic, right? So register a vote. So okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna register a vote, and I'm gonna pass button in here. Let's just make sure that this is working. Okay, so I'm gonna come back over to the front end. So to know that this is working, we're gonna inspect this. I can't see. Okay, so we got a vote bar of this happens to have 1 here, right? So if I click this, hopefully that should go to 2. Oh, look at that. And now it's disabled. Man, I get so excited when I do basic JavaScript. Okay, so that does that. Okay, cool. So the next thing we have to do is we're going to, we gotta set the message. Oh no, we don't need to set the message. We're doing that here. think that's all we have to do to register the vote. I think that's it. I think that's all I have to do here. Oh no, the other thing we have to do is we have to, we're gonna go window.local storage.set. I don't know if I can do this in a different function or not, but it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say poll. I'm gonna say voted. You can do this, do whatever you want on here, and we'll say true. Okay. So this should now get us to a state where we have incremented the number. We've set the message gets spit out down here. So we register a vote, which then also sets the local storage aspect of it. So we'll check this out. Okay, so let's go. So this vote here is apparently now it's 7. Great. Okay, so we're gonna go boom. We're gonna go 8. Cool. Why didn't that? Oh, we got an error. What's the error here? Oh, set item. Okay, that's the error. Set item. That was the problem. Okay, cool. All right, so let's look. We got the elements here. This count bar is 7. It gets incremented to 8. Cool. Things are disabled. Let's look in the application. We go to local storage. I've got a voted key true. Perfect. So we're at kind of where I want it to be. And now, what I want to do is I'm gonna do this last because it's a pain, but what I basically want to do is I want to like up here before I assign these event lists, I want to check to see if the user has already voted. All right, so I'm gonna do that there, and then that'll add some logic here. So the next thing that I need to do is we're gonna redraw the buttons. So we're gonna redraw the buttons. We're gonna draw the render bar percentages. I'm gonna render whatever poll bars we'll call them, and this will again be a function, not an array. And so I'm gonna do this up here. I think this is a nice way of doing it. Like I've always heard that you should cache this, you should do your selectors once and then just use them all over the place, rather than every time a function is called, you re-query. I think that's more performant. So vote bars equals document.query selector all, and I think they're called /vote bar. Let's double check that. So vote bar, yeah, okay. So we've got vote bars. Okay, so so these are going to be the bars. We're going to put them in there. I now realize or let's just say items, I guess. No, bars. Naming things is hard, folks. Okay, so we want to get okay, so the first thing that we need to do is get the total value of all votes, basically, right? And I learned this. I am so proud of myself for figuring this thing out yesterday. I've never really used reduce, and I've always wanted to. I like the idea of it. I think it's super cool. So what I did was I figured I use reduce. So I got an array from the bars, and then I'm taking so I convert bars into an array, then I reduce the array based on basically this is the starting value, I believe, right? So which is 0, and then this is the I guess this is what the element that this is operating on. So what I'm doing here is that's not A. Do this. Oh, I have heard of advent of code, actually. I'm gonna practice using reduce. I just don't use it very often, but it seems like such a powerful function. So what this is doing is this is going through each item in the array, and it's like I could do this with like a for each, an array map, or an array map, and do stuff like that. But it takes this value, and then based on the element, it gets whatever the value is. You know, I'm not gonna call it starting value. It's just value. So it returns the value plus whatever you add to it, right? So eventually this is going to get us the total value of every data count element, right? So we have a total value, and then so that's what we can. So I'll just console log that out. Log total votes, right? So this needs to happen. We need to render the percent the bars, right? So we need to do that immediately so we can see what the poll is, right? So we can just say render bars. I'm going to pass vote bars. So this isn't going to do anything other than console log out our total votes, hopefully. So let's see. Let's go in here. So 28. So yeah, I believe that that's math that works. So 28. So that does that. And then all I have to do now is do a for each on, I'm just gonna, so I'm gonna take bars, I'm gonna just do this. So we got bars, right? I'm gonna do a for each on the bar. I'm gonna get the attribute, and I'm setting the style.width property for each bar to a, sorry, this formatting stuff. So the bar to style the width gets set to the percentage of count, and it gets set to a width. So we should hopefully now see this. Now it's different every time because they're rendered differently every time. Yeah. So now what we need to do is, so now we have this super helpful function, which I should probably add some inline comments, but. I read a really interesting tweet that I completely disagree with about, real engineers don't was it something like they don't add inline comments because you should be able to figure it out. No, I don't agree with that in any way. Cool. So, okay, so then what we need to do is re-render the bars down here. So because we've already got the bars cached, we have references to those nodes, but we do then loop through them, and then we get the new elements every time. So what this should be doing is we should register a vote, should disable the buttons, should redraw the vote bars, and then it should just display the message. So let's see what happens. I'm going to click on this one, and this white should get bigger. It did. There we go. And this it all kind of worked. Cool. So, but now we still have this problem where we are, people can just keep refreshing the page and voting, right? So we're gonna change that. We're going to change that. So I don't think I need the event, the actual, I don't think I need the event, the reference to the event that gets passed there. So in here, I'm going to just do a quick check. If window.localStorage.getItem voted, right? I'm gonna do that. So if there is no local storage item, then these buttons get their event listeners. Otherwise, we're going to disable buttons. Vote buttons, and we're going to display the message. Display message. You all looks like you've already voted. Looks like you already voted. Votes? No. Cool. So let's take a look at this. All right, so it looks like I've already voted, so I can't even get in here. So I need to come in, and I'll clear my my voted key here, refresh the page. We're good to go. Looks like, hey, thanks for voting, and now it looks like you've already voted. So this, yeah, so we're pretty much done here. You can add some more items. This all still works if you want to like reorder it. Cool. So that's kind of the front end. There is one more thing that I wanted to do, because I hate's a strong word for a Gutenberg block, but I don't like how these are just arbitrary things. They're just arbitrary colors, which don't seem to mix and match anything. I mean, with theme.json coming and like, you know, it's available now, but like there's palettes that we can get access to. We can get all kinds of stuff, right? So what I want to be doing is I'm going to get the palette that's available from the theme, right? So to do that, we're going to use we're going to try to use get theme supports on the JavaScript side. So I'm going to jump over in here. So this is pretty much done. I might go back in and clean it and just add some comments. Those are the words that I'm using. But so let's jump back now into the block itself. So into the poll block, because the poll block is down here. And what we want to do is we want to be able to, instead of hard coding these values, we want to get the values that are available from the theme support. So to do that, where we get rid of that, I need to import. I'm going to use select, and this will be from. No? Oh, did I turn it off? Let's turn it on. Let's see. I turned off of yeah, there we go. That's GitHub Copilot. Oh, you can't see it. 1 second here. So down here, this little thing down here is GitHub Copilot, which is pretty fun. It'll prompt you with code and stuff. It's pretty cool. Anyways, that's what I was messing with down there. So we have this use select. So in our hook here, I'm gonna go const. What am I doing here? I forget how to use select. It'll be data equals use select. It gets select, and then it takes a function that has select. Right? We'll do this, and then this should return something. Select. And it'll be, I forget what store it's on. I think it's on, I have it written down somewhere. This is what I'm looking for here. So let's get in here and we'll just look at it in the console. Cool, clear this out. So that's what I'm looking for. So WP data select core, get theme supports. So this will show me everything that comes in. So we can look and see that we've got editor color palettes, editor font sizes, editor gradients, custom background, dark editor style. So these, I believe these are going to be associated closer to the theme that I'm actually using here, right? I think. Yeah, so this is based on the theme. So this is what I want, the editor color palettes, because we should be able to just take those, pass them into our block down here, and that should just work. So to do that, I'm going to get theme supports theme data, right? And then I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to say select core. No, this is, I'm going to turn that off. No, it's annoying. Whatever, no, it's fine. Dot, what was it? It was get theme supports. All right, so we go get theme supports. So in theory, if I console.log theme data, and I rebuild in here and clear this all out, I should get an object. So, okay, so, oh, what is all this junk? There we go. So we've got an object, and then so this is like, it's not resolved yet, and then we have all of our things. So what I can do is what's the name of it? I'm gonna get editor color palette, and I'm going to do this, editor color palette, and call it color palette. If you're not familiar with the syntax that I'm using here, what this is doing is this is going to basically destructure this element off of the object that gets returned, but then call it this. If that makes sense. And then down here, my color palette, I should be able to just pass colors, color palette. Apparently I spelled color palette wrong. Am I still spelling it wrong? No, probably not. Let's see. so I'll go to this, right? So there we go. So now let's run back over here. Okay, I'm gonna refresh this. There we go. And so we've got color palettes now that sort of match the theme that we're going for. Clearly, some of these aren't really what we want to do. I wonder if maybe, here's an idea. So we're not really doing anything with the font in here. Maybe what we need to do is in the poll item, allow the text color to come through, because now that we have all these fonts, like that's not a very good, like you can't even read that, right? Like that's completely unreadable. So we should probably give some control to the individual item down here. Or maybe we should add another color, because we want the color to be the same, right? So we use block context for this. So we've got the poll bar color. So we're just I'm gonna do another one down in here, and this will be called, no, I'm gonna get that out of here. I'm gonna add another panel body, and I'm gonna call this poll text color. And what will happen? There we go. Okay, poll text color. So that's not changing the thing that we wanted to change. But why is that giving me grief? What's that about? Weird. Okay, so what am I doing? All right, I need to get into, okay, so in the block, we're gonna have color, and I'm gonna create another, I'm gonna create another attribute, call it text color. That's gonna be the same. It's gonna be a string, type is gonna be a string, and now I think we can add, can we add an array? Does this become an array maybe? If I go text color? I'm gonna have to look, that doesn't seem right. It's expected string. Huh. All right, let's look up provides context, because I am, Berg provides context. Oh, come on. Context. Let's look at that. Record ID uses context using block context. Can you only do a single context? Block could provide context, object max context name to one of the blocks. Oh, okay. Maybe I just need to do it. Maybe I need to do it. Maybe I just need to do this and then do text color. That doesn't seem right at all. Oh, okay. I think what I need to do. Okay. Okay, I think if I do that, because, right? Does that make sense? I guess we'll figure it out. Yeah, okay. I get it. Okay, so if I'm doing this right, so this is really the reference, and this is what the value will be. So if I do, I shouldn't have called it poll. I should have called this, let's change this to make this clearer. So this will be the poll, and then we'll say color. right? And then we'll do text pull, and then we'll do text, right? That should make sense. So then in here, we'll have access to color, and then we'll also have access to the text, right? Text, and then we'll call that whatever, text color, right? And then how do I do that here? So style, border color, so in here I'll just do color, text color, right? So that should do that. Shauna Gray, thanks for what? Welcome. All right, welcome. I don't know what's going on. All right, so now let's see. Okay, so if I have that available, so all right, so I think if I've done this right, what should happen now is I should get do this. The background color is not working. That's wonderful. Okay. No, this is good. This is good. Okay, so this is actually not color. Oh wait, hold on. Stand by. Color, and then what did I call it? Text color. Okay, so text color stays in there. So text color. So here we got color. We got text color. Okay, so this should store this properly, I think. I don't know what I'm doing here. Right, so these should have separate colors. They do. Okay. Okay, so now let's see. That's saving. You know what? I'm gonna make this like that, so we can just see that there's definitely colors in there. Okay. So that's working, but oh, I need to do so the pull item. Okay, so it uses the context of pull color, and it uses the context of Twitch pull, Twitch block pull, and then this will be what I call it, text color. This has become a lot clearer. No, text. Okay, so because we have to reference it by the context name, right? So now let's see. There we go. So if I make this that color, update, and then I come over here and I make this color. Oh, it's still not changing that. Okay, so let's see why that is. So pull item. Oh, did I put it in the wrong spot? I think I did. Hold on, stand by. What is this? Colors, span. Okay. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. Console dot. Come on. Dot log will go text color. Back over here. Undefined. Okay, so that's an undefined. Okay. Color. Why is the other one? That one working, the other one's not. Oh, because it's. I had a typo in there. It was witch, not Twitch, which is a thing that doesn't exist. Okay, so this looks better. Okay, cool. So now we have do the bar background, and then we'll make it white. We'll update this. Now this is not going to be reflected, so we need to update that. Awesome. Okay. So let's go back into our pull item. We're going to get rid of this. So we're going to get rid of that. Now we need to. The only other thing we have to do is now we have to get this color updated here. I'm going to just. So I'm in the render callback for the item. I'm going to call it text. Color, and this will be text txt, And then line these up because otherwise PHPCS, that's not installed properly. Yes, I know. Will yell at me. Background color, color. So then here, should just be able to do color, right? I'm going to get rid of this. Oh, maybe I won't get rid of that. Oops, what did I do? You know what? I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to move me over here so you can see what I'm doing. So first thing I should do is escape attribute this, because you should always be escaping things. It's safer. Then PHP be echo escape TTR, and this will be what I call it, text color, I think. Text color, yeah. And then do that. So hopefully, well, this is I'm gonna break these out so we can see them a little easier. And I'm gonna move me back over here now. Okay, we'll do this. So now we can see with style going on. So we have a lot going on here with the style. So it's setting the background color and the text color. So now if I run back over here, oh, sorry. So that's what we got set, right? And then this is still not working. All part of my plan, all part of my plan. That's odd, okay. That looked like it should be working. Update. It's got the color. Okay, weird. Background color, escape color. Huh, that's very strange. Check the computer tab in DevTools. That sounds like a cool thing. Here. So that's should be the color. Why is it not? Something overriding that? Like, I don't even see. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I know why. I know why. It's like this because I am a horrible front-end developer. No, it's on the wrong thing. I forgot I had done this because of the way that it interact, like the markup interacts with things in here, and like this is a text field and all that stuff. It's very difficult to like get it to line up. So what I did was I fudged the markup a bit. So this is completely correct. There's an extra thing. So in my edit, so if you look, we've got the vote bar, and then the name is actually inside the vote bar. Whereas on the PHP markup, there's a separate span for it here, and that's so I can position it properly. So all I need to do is do this better, is add a style there, and I'll get rid of the background color. That should clean that up. There we go. That's what that was. Poor development choices on my part. So there we go. So we've got this now. Clearly that's not great. So there's one other thing that I kind of wanted to add. There's like a Gutenberg color checker. No, not the color checker. Can't remember, but there's a component contrast. You know what? I'm gonna look at that maybe, and then because there's a. Let's go to Gutenberg. There's a component basically that that allows you to do contrast checking to make sure that your text is readable, which I think is a pretty important thing. I think it might be in components. We'll go to components and then look for color indicator. No, color control, I think. Color picker is what I want. And if I look in here. Oh, that's not it. Maybe this isn't the one. What is the name of that? What's the name of the component? There's a component that does it. You pass it 2 colors and it tells you whether or not they're and I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head. If anyone knows, drop it in the chat, please. That would be great. Nope. It's just me poking around trying to find things now. Contrast. Is there not a contrast checker? Contrast. Contrast. Is there not a JavaScript? There it is. Block editor, contrast checker, components. So where are we? Contrast checker. That's what I want. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to pull that in and I'm going to grab it. I'm going to put it in my poll up here. No, not there. This in here. And do I have block editor already? I do. So I'm just going to do contrast checker. Contrast checker. So if I put under you know, it seems silly to have these in their own pool. I'm just going to do a single one, call it colors, get rid of this, and that'll give me another row. And then I should be able to put another row in here. Panel row, and then if I input the contrast checker, oh, yeah, cool. Okay, color 1, color 2. So what this should give me now, if I look at this thing, is when I'm picking my colors, is that's not doing what I thought I was gonna do. Is there something else I need here? This should be telling me that it's hard to read. So what am I doing wrong? Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. Okay, let's look at contrast checker. Font size required? No. Oh, what am I just doing that? Yeah. God, right. This will be text color. No, it won't. It'll be background color, and this will be text color. There we go. So hopefully this should yell at me when I pick colors that aren't really that great. So let's grab this. There we go. So that's all this does, which is a nice little feature because, you know, clearly this is extremely hard for people to read because you can't read it at all. And for colorblind folks like myself, this is definitely something that I appreciate. So cool. So that's pretty much that. So we can update this. Now we might maybe want to have, it might be a good idea to have sort of like a different background in here. Now we're into some design and accessibility things, which is not really my area of expertise, but I mean, I think, you know, if we have a little color gets thrown in back here, then that bar fills up. That might be a good thing. But yeah, I think maybe mix blend mode CSS properly. I've literally never heard of that. What is that? Let's check that out. What do you call it? Mix blend mode. Oh no, not that. God, it's terrifying doing Google searches in a live stream because you never know. You never know what's gonna pop up. What does this do? Multiply, hard light, difference. Oh, cool. Well, we're just gonna go ahead and add that. I don't know what we're gonna add it to, but we're gonna add it to something because that's a cool thing. I think that's cool that I'm gonna try right now. So the bar is the CSS would be in here. Go bar. Let's go mix, blend, multiply. Yeah, this is fun. Oh, that that did not do what I was thinking it was gonna do. All right, what are the options here? Let's go lighten. We'll add a little light in there. Change the text color based on the background color. What? Maybe I might be putting this on the wrong thing here. Well, that just broke it. I don't know. Okay, that didn't do anything. All right, there we go. We got our thing back. Maybe you can. Right, see that one has contrast. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get into my CSS a little bit deeper. But I'm gonna be pushing this stuff up to my repo, and I would love it if anyone wanted to take a shot at doing some of these more complicated CSS things. Please feel free. It'd be awesome. I'm just not that good at CSS, so I'm excited to give it a whirl though. It looks pretty neat. In the meantime, I'm just gonna do like a background color of light gray. I mean, is that gonna give us? Oh, it's still not really gonna work, but. Here we go. This is how I design. Bam! Okay, that's it. Cool. Thank you for the suggestion, Kendra. I don't know if you've been on one of my streams before. Mix blend difference on the text. So that would be here. Okay, so what was I? Difference? Let's give it a whirl. Keep forgetting it doesn't need to be in the bar. Oh, look at that. Wow, that's amazing. I am blown away by how cool that is. That is awesome, Florida Coder Man. I learned something today. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's phenomenal. That just made it so much better. Let's see what it does when we start messing around with colors. Like if I grab, like, I don't know. Let's do. No, that's not a very good color combination. Something like this. Oh, that's super neat. Man, CSS is powerful. I'll look at that repo for sure. I'm studying plugins development, stuffs like that. Cool. Well, if you have any questions, please. Oh, speaking of the repo, sorry, I should link it. I have it here. This is where all the code for all of my streams goes. Take a look. Yeah, you're welcome to add issues if you want to see something streamed, or if you want to fork it and mess around with stuff. The code is free to use. Do whatever you want with it. I'd love to see what you do with it though. If you can link back to me, not for any other reason, just my curiosity, but that would be great to see. Yeah, Doe Foam, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's where I'm gonna cut it. I think we have a pretty good poll block here. I realize I haven't updated the repo in the last couple of streams just because we've been kind of working on the same one. So I'll update it after this, and we'll get it all the code up there, and we can take a look and play around with it. And the full disclosure, I have no idea how this block's going to look in other themes, so it might look a little janky. I kind of focused on whatever theme I have installed. I think it's 2021. What theme do I have rolling here? Yeah, I have 2021, but if you just activate it in 2020, let's take a look and just see how bad it's gonna be. Oh yeah, see, totally broken. So I think that's because I'm absolutely positioning that, and I probably shouldn't. But yeah. Anyways, we won't go there. I'm gonna put it back to my that. You know, out of curiosity, let's just take a look here. See what this looks like in a different theme. That doesn't look too bad. See what happens when, oh, it's cool. So yeah, so it is actually respecting the colors that are available. I don't know why there's, oh, you know what, I forgot to do something. I think I need to add a label to this color picker. Can I do that? Is there a label option? Label, there we go. So this is actually going to be background color, and this color, this is going to be, I'm assuming this is going to work. All right, so we get that built, refresh this, grab that. Maybe there's no label on there. Color picker, unchanged, enable alpha, default value, exponent. Okay, so there's no label, so we have to add a little label to it. Just spit this out for now. See what that looks like. So that's something that I definitely need to clean up. Oh, sorry, over here. That looks horrible. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll spend some time just fixing that right now. I'm gonna put this back to the theme that I know it looks decent on. And there we go. Add that post. So let's figure that out. So I think there's a label component somewhere. And packages, component. Excuse me. Source label. Oh, do I need to wrap it in base control? It's weird that that's not wrapped in base control. That's very strange. So the color picker, which is this one, it's not wrapped inside of a base control? This just extends a component. Okay, so actually, I think I have a pull request open for this. So I think what we need is a base control that we can import from component, and then we're going to wrap it in the thing. So this is a way. So this base control thing is pretty cool. What you can, this allows you to build your own, controls, and it'll inherit a bunch of fun things. So if we take our color palette, I think if we can just wrap it in a base control, I think, and then add the label here, I think that'll work. But I don't know. We'll find out. Base control, why is that yelling at me? Oh, okay. So ID, and then we'll call it background. I'm assuming this is the kind of ID it's looking for, right? Do that. Okay, so let's see what this does now. So we'll go back here, and there we go. So that's okay. That's cool. So there's a pull request for someone who wants to contribute to Gutenberg, is wrapping this control inside of a base control, which will give us, at the very least, the ability to add a label to it, which is something that I think we should definitely have. And then I'm just going to copy paste this base control down here, because we can see that the label is not supported on the color palette. So if I refresh this again, grab this, then we got text color, pull colors, and we can close the whole thing. And then there we go. Awesome, cool. So I think that's it. I think that's where I'm going to stop it. We're about 5 minutes before noon. I've actually got something else I have to do at noon, so this is perfectly timed. Once again, thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. The repo is linked if you are interested, and if there's anything that you want to see streamed, please open an issue on there and just tag it with topic request. Otherwise, thanks for coming, and I'll see you on the interwebs somewhere. Bye.